Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Stellaris. I'm just gonna get right into things because we're just kind of, I honestly, we're just kind of prepping for what may come of the end. Currently, the uh,
Construction
fallen empires,
complete.
the awakened fallen empires, are rapidly kind of grabbing territory and also simultaneously kicking the
Rocket
crap out of
cleared.
each other. Meanwhile, we've just kind of managed to breeze by uncontested. We managed to snag a few more territories just before the War in Heaven really kicked off, and then we just kind of refused to pick a side, and we're just gonna Switzerland our
Construction
way through
complete.
this and see how things go. And with any luck, we will be fine throughout this.
Construction
We
complete.
are also currently working in the process of
Construction
getting
complete.
um, oh, hey, look, improved strikecraft. You know what? I'm probably going to take that, actually, because that will give us a lot more damage output for many of our many things. Um, I'm trying to think of topics to discuss while we wait for something interesting to happen, and
Rocket
this is
cleared.
like the one problem having really long recording sessions like this where I just bulk record episodes because I'm gonna run out of topics eventually. Um, I guess.
Our ships have been
Well, that and
improved.
I don't want to talk a lot about my like personal life outside of the game or this channel. So, apart from maybe the occasional update
Construction
for something that may
complete.
actually affect the channel, um, and I guess one thing I'm sort of thinking about as this series draws to sort of a close. Like I said, we probably have got like 2 or 3 more episodes after this one tops before something happens that causes this to just
Construction
all
complete.
kind of explode. Either reality is going to break when something happens to the map, or the game is going to crash, or
Our ships have been
something
improved.
is going to, some crisis going to come along, and either is going to be the death or glory sort of final stand of our
Our
people.
ships have been improved.
And I'm not sure
Our
how
ships have been improved.
how well that's going to go, all things considered. Real quick, we should have, we have our colossal shipyards. You know what? We're just gonna build our Empress's Fist, and that's gonna be that. We are gonna have a big old fleet. We should
Rocket
probably
cleared.
buy a bunch more um, things, and I think honestly, I kind of want to build a fleet management. Can we add a in vivo? Xeno researchers have published an open letter demanding special legislation restricting experiments of a near sapient alien species be Oh, um, hmm. Society research, or shall we? Honestly, fix. We care little for the fate of lesser beings. Are we going to become fanatic xenophobes? I mean, this is a good question. I mean, what are we now? We are spiritualist, authoritarian, and xenophobic. I kind of hope we keep. Because, like, no, we are not xenophobe. We're not fanatic xenophobe, at least. But we are going to, I guess, ignore the pompous Poindexters and tell them, no, we are going to keep experimenting on the space monkeys. Um, look, we could get you some Favarian test subjects, but that just is like a whole nother can of worms. All right, and I think we're just gonna hit reinforce all. All right, and let it do its thing while we work on getting things done. Our fleet capacity is so like I don't think we're ever going to be able to get things like kind of permanently back to
Construction complete.
underneath. However, we should at least be able to keep things. We should be able to support it even with the increased cost that comes from being over limit. Anyways, I'm gonna pause real quick. Siege on Paradise. We have met the Baul. Suspicions are confirmed, it seems. On the planet's surface, we encountered a massive creature whose body was formed by an intricate network of roots. We hypothesized that the rift was a doorway to a parallel universe where the Baul have not yet been exterminated. Again, see? A halt, unidentified sapient. Explain how you bypassed a blockade. Are you here to parley? We're just gonna tell them what we know, which may be a bit of an existential hit. But, we'll see how things go. I think that's how you would spell that. And apparently we are holding the line. Your call is important to us. The manual's comm frequency connected us to the help desk mainframe of a commercial entity known as Sky Garden. With a friendly though neutral tone, a help desk AI informed us that it appreciated our reaching out and asked if there was anything it could aid us with. Among the listed options were answering questions about subscriptions, learning about a new line of smart defense systems, and if we wished to know more about the corporation's social responsibility initiatives. However, the subsequent options continued to direct us to entirely unrelated topics. Worst of all, it would often put our engineers on hold only to drop the call. Obviously, the service AI has not survived the passing of time as well as the rest of the habitat. Nonetheless, we will continue trying to find our way through the arcane system. Understood. Right, and apparently we have more going on. The siege on Paradise. With impending doom. We explained if our species was known to us. The Baul on our universe were a pacifistic hive mind, gardeners of unmatched skill. They were attacked and finally exterminated by a militaristic empire, the Grunner. Every Baul planet and colony was destroyed. In the end, only a single Baul node remained. We keep him in a jar in our space museum. Let's not tell him that part. Trapped for millennia inside an abandoned research station. Again, not there anymore, but again, they don't need to know that. The Baul were alarmed. They explained that the Grunner had appeared only recently, establishing a military blockade around this colony. Every detail of our report matched their own experience with the Grunner thus far. They have made a formal request for our assistance in repelling the alien threat before it is too late. We will help however we can.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
Right, spirits have granted new wisdom. Excellent. We like new wisdom. As opposed to old wisdom. We are going to just nullify that, and we are going to get the head of Zarklon. Zarklon wills it. Brave Zarklon! They should have, like, a really cheesy, like, jingle that plays, like, when you, like, kind of like how in, praise Space King, or however that goes. We should have more, kind of, like, goofy, more goofy little sound effects in this, or possibly my favorite goofy sound effects in a space game is on April 1st. Star Trek Online does a thing where they redo all of the the UI sound effects with just people making the
Construction complete.
just making the noise with their mouth, which probably my favorite of which being when you open up the map and it's just a guy just getting increasingly unhinged, just saying maps. It's kind of one of those things you just have to experience it, but it is quite it's quite funny. Alright, we seem to have another event. Siege on Paradise continues. Saving the Baul. We know that the Grunner will stop at nothing to destroy the Baul. There is no chance of a diplomatic resolution. We have engaged in discussions with the Baul to determine a practical way to lend aid. The Baul can attempt to defend themselves, but they have limited military capabilities. They would not benefit from mechanical or genetic enhancement to improve their army's speed, strength, and resistance to incendiary weapons. We could attempt to enhance the Baul's advanced organic technology with astral thread. it would be possible to establish a powerful shield around this colony. Of course, this will prevent them from leaving the planet, but at least they would be safe from the invaders. As a last resort, we could carry Bowel seedlings back through the rift, allowing the species to live on no matter what happens in this dimension. We will generate a shield. They probably wouldn't want to see what we've been doing to them in this reality. I think last episode I vaguely began a tangent, or possibly earlier this episode. I honestly can't remember anymore. We started a tangent about what I'm going to do after this series. That's a very good question, because I have a few ideas. I think when this series ends, I'll have a more comprehensive poll as to what I want to do when this series is done. I'll take some time to just kind of cool off, take a break from creating content on YouTube for maybe a week, and then that'll give me some time to prepare to do more stuff later. I was actually thinking recently a bunch of friends of mine got into or back into Titanfall 2. I was actually thinking of doing a playthrough of a single-player campaign of that as kind of a thing. I hadn't played the game in months. I played maybe for 10 minutes or so earlier this year, but I hadn't really played with, gotten together with a group of friends and played seriously in quite some time. And, I think last Saturday is kind of a community game night on a Discord server that a friend of mine runs. We all just sat down and played Titanfall 2 together. We just spun up a private lobby and just did I think a couple 3v3 matches, and it was a lot of fun. And so I've kind of been thinking of maybe doing, even though it's far from new news to say that, Titanfall 2 is a really good game, I just kind of wanted to, put that out there and just kind of, record my playthrough. It would hardly be a blind playthrough. I've beaten the campaign to Titanfall 2 quite a few times at this point, but I figure that will at least be a thing. I was also thinking of doing a playthrough of Abiotic Factor since 1.0 dropped, and I've been quite enjoying that. That would be another fairly long series, but at least that would be a series with maybe a bit more going on in it, although I don't know, that one may be a bit harder to do, especially solo, to do a sorry, I just bumped my microphone. Do some kind of thing. Oh yay, the Bavarian cartels are setting up more and more branch offices. And we have a continuation of the siege on Paradise, the Astral Shield. By integrating Astral Thread into the Bowel's defensive technology, we have projected a reactive yet sturdy form of planetary shielding around their besieged colony. The barrier will set around the planet and protect the Bowel for as long as it stands. Hopefully it will survive long enough for the Grunner to move on to more accessible targets. Excellent. Okay, we get more shield hit points and shield hardening as a result of that. The final escape. Final escapee. Emerging from the Astral Rift alongside the KSV Ink Collector Box's Rift Sphere, an unexpected sight catches our attention. A dormant escape pod trailing in the sphere's wake. Soon we receive a simple distress signal, accompanied by a live video feed. On screen. Oh! It's Mercedes Romero, everyone! The repugnant alien stands before us in dazed silence. Its only motion is that of Peleus... I have no idea. Peleus undulating in a wave-like rhythm, abruptly regaining composure. With a flourish of tentacles, the creature introduces itself. What? Where am I? I'm sorry, my name is Mercedes Romero, explorer and diplomat of Ablored Commonality. Do you know of the humans? No. What on earth are humans? What do you remember exactly? My last memory is of the Antari system. I was engaged in a fleet action with a group of friends when I saw a bright light. After that, there's nothing. I arrived here in my escape pod, alone and friendless. Oh, well, aren't you just a thing? Envoys improving relations have a 0.5% chance each month of acquiring a favor. Blorg insight. They're surprisingly good, but they give us less diplomatic weight, and humans don't like us as much. I do find that kind of funny. As unfortunate as your situation is, Mercedes Romero, I'm going to flush you out of the airlock now. Goodbye. Anyways, that's a thing I didn't think would happen anytime soon, or this playthrough. Hold the line, a maze of options. Our engineers report that regardless of what they said to the AI, after passing through several menus, the system would simply revert back to a previous statement. We attempted to run several simulations to map out the exact menu tree, but our efforts returned recursive errors and an inability to both solve and check the solution at the same time. Even running a quantum model achieved no desirable results. We suspect that we accidentally collapsed a few wave functions in the process. We're at a loss. Tell the AI that it can go fuck itself. There we go. That's what we will do. We will scream at the AI until it does what we want it to. Apparently, a novel galactic tempest is raging in the Porphyra system. Unlike anything we have seen before, our attempts at scanning a phenomenon have proven futile. What, if anything, lies within its mysterious depths? Oh my, that's Mysterious Tempest. I do not like the look of that. That... Forensic dissection. Ah, okay, we've dissected the carcass that we found floating in the wake of that storm. Nice. Right. I have a feeling I know what that is, but I will wait for confirmation. Because this could be bad. Oh, holding the line. Alright. Following protocol. Finally, a breakthrough. The AI admonished us for using inappropriate language and stated that we should wait until we are contacted by a customer service representative. For a while, we were left waiting, and then the comm line was reopened. The entity on the other end introduced herself as the record keeper of the Sky Garden Corporation. The help desk itself was an AI program she had inherited from the last record keeper. As far as she knows, the comm station had not been used since the bankruptcy of Sky Garden many decades ago. When we questioned why she remained working for a bankrupt organization, she simply said that was in her contract. Explaining our situation, the record keeper dug up an old quick start guide to the habitat. She will transfer digital impressions of the pages to us soon. Oh, lovely. This is getting worse. Yeah, this is getting worse. I don't know how I feel about this. Oh boy. Right.
Our ships have been improved.
However, as we get our fleets into position, I'm going to actually pause the game. And I'm going to say that it has been about long enough for this particular episode. And next episode, we're going to see what the hell this is all about. And, hopefully it's, well, okay, I don't think there's anything that it could be that would be good, but hopefully it's not utterly disastrous. Famous last words. Other than that, I hope you guys all enjoyed the episode, and I hope I see you all in the next one. If this is the last one for the week, and I didn't miscount while prepping these videos, I hope you all have a lovely weekend, and I will try and see you all on Monday. Take care.